All right, let's talk about homework for Chapter 5. So I'm in your workbook. At the end of Chapter 5, there are some questions in your workbook, which are always good for you to go over and write in your answers for your own learning. Nothing that I'm going to collect, but important. If you look at number 3 on those questions, what is the significance of the formula R equals G equals B? If all those numbers are the same, 50, 50, 50, it means it's neutral. There's no color cast. So that's an important thing to remember. So Chapter 5 projects, the couple in 5A we've already done. So you're going to be working on this image, the toddler image. I'll open it and show you what it's like. And unlike what you see in your workbook where it says duplicate these images, no, don't do that. You're going to submit one file that's a PSD, and you are going to make 3 different adjustment layers and turn them on and off as you work through the process. So when our toddler shows up, we can see that it's just a background layer and there's some crazy color cast going on in here. So just like we did with the Scott and Danielle in our practice, we're going to make an adjustment that's color balance. That's the visual one where you pull the sliders to the right or the left. So you trade from, I'll just remind you here by turning it on and showing it to you by double clicking. You're going to pull from cyan to red, magenta to green. You're going to up or down one of these colors. So this is a visual thing that you're going to do. Then you're going to make another layer and you're going to do the manual RGB levels. And specifically, you're going to target with your slider each color channel separately. So you're going to come into red and change it, green and change it, and blue. When I open this, I should be able to see these in all 3 channels. If I only see it in the composite, but not in these individual channels, it's not correct. And then the final version, you're going to use the eyedropper and do levels that way. And this is where you're going to sample a neutral spot. And if you don't know what's neutral, you should use the color sampler tool. Find something that you think should be neutral, not have a color cast to it, and sample it. And when you sample it and look at your info box, you can see here that these colors are not close to each other at all. There's definitely one color winning the tug of war. So on your toddler, when you sample with that picture, you're going to go for a neutral area. This wall back here, I highly doubt is painted this weird color green. Definitely this is very white and bright, so the white point probably isn't bad. This is probably your dark black, but what's the neutral color? And if you don't know, use the color sample tool and place some sample points around to see if you can figure out where the problem is. And then all you have to do is come back after you get that sample point. You just need to come back in the eyedropper, grab your neutral eyedropper and sample on the spot that you know is off balance. So this is what this file is going to look like for the toddler. It's going to have 3 layers and you're going to test the color balancing theories on each version on this one picture. So again, this is a high resolution image because it came from our book. So before you send me the PSD with these layers, take a look at the actual image size and you'll see that this is a bit smaller. It's a 6x5, but it's still more pixels per inch than we need. So take this down to 72, make our physical size a little bit smaller. It'll probably get down to a meg or so. And that is the PSD you are uploading for Project 5B, the toddler. And then if you flip the page, we've already done race car number 1 in class together. We practiced this one. We put a sample point at a light gray and a dark gray. We did some math based on the average of the input numbers. We found out what they should average to. And then on each color channel, we added the dark gray point down here, and the light gray. And when we clicked on them, we were able to get the input numbers right here where we could type in what it started as and what it should be. You're going to do that same thing with either race car 2 or race car 3. So I don't care which one of these you use, you're going to do the same process that we did here at a curves adjustment layer. Again, this is a high-res image, so when you're all done, take it down to 72 dots per inch. When I open it, I'm going to look for 2 sample points somewhere on the document. And when I open each color channel, I'm going to look for these 2 spots, and I'm going to see that you've averaged them out and they're now neutralized and that the photo actually looks better. I will probably check all 3 channels to make sure all 3 have 2 sample points, input points, and I will check the original image to see, or not the original, but I'll check what you send me to see that you have 2 sample points and that it looks good. So that's the homework for chapter 5, and in chapter 4 I already walked you through how you're handling that. You're going to work on just one of those images from chapter 4. So that's the homework for this week, and if you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Send me an email and I'd be happy to help.